Now, here in the UK, 4 million of us watch the reality television series Love Island, and the format of the show has been sold all over the world. It was a recent big hit in Australia, for example, alongside other reality programmes like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Jersey Shore, all showcasing glamorous women, many of them who've had surgical enhancements like lip fillers, Botox, boob jobs. Now, this has become increasingly normal on our screens, and the interest in cosmetic surgery is certainly increasing. Give you one statistic: the number of women in the United States aged between 19 and 34 having Botox has risen by 41% since 2011. That's according to the American Society for Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. So we want to look at how these shows are bringing us new trends. Are they fueling a trend of unrealistic body expectation? Joining me now to discuss this, we have Megan Barton-Hanson, who's a contestant on this year's UK Love Island show. Michelle is here too. Michelle Elman is from the Be Real campaign, aiming to promote realistic body images. And I know, Michelle, you have your own story. Also, Dr. Dirk Kremer, who is a Harley Street plastic surgeon. You know how this industry works. So obviously, I want to talk to all of you, but Megan, it's no secret, you've made no secret of the fact that you've had enhancements. You're already beautiful, but you've enhanced what you present to the world. Why and when did you start?
Yeah, so I was senior school, and kids can be nasty. Like, I had a lot of stick about my ears, like they stuck out, and I wouldn't say bullied, but kids can be cruel. So it was like a big thing to me, like daily going into school, I'd be like, Mum, I don't like my ears. So she helped me pay for that when I was young. That was the first thing I got done. Then I've had like lips, I've had a boob job. But I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. It's my body, and if I think it's the right decision for me, I don't see why anyone should judge. Going into Love Island, I knew that there'll be stick about like my past jobs and stuff, but it was the surgery that really got to me. I couldn't believe that everyone was like up in arms the fact that I'd had surgery. Like, it's my choice. I don't know what's such a big thing.
Michelle, what do you feel when you hear that?
I think Megan's experience is really common because 60% of young people have been bullied for the way they look and have tried to change their appearance because of being bullied. But I think that changing your appearance is not necessarily the answer, because your body confidence isn't correlated to what your body looks like. So changing your appearance, you think you're going to suddenly be confident, be suddenly more lovable, more likable, more popular, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily work like that. And I think despite us looking very different, we probably get the same amount of hate comments online about everything, whether it's her being fake or it's me being fat. It doesn't matter what it is, we shouldn't be body shaming people at all.
Just before I bring in the surgeon expert here, Megan, I want to come back to you because it did give you more confidence. I mean, it has worked for you, or is there a little part of you that thinks, did I need to go through all that?
Yeah, but it's not solely the procedures and the cosmetic surgery. I've grown as a person, doing jobs I've done, going to therapy. It's made me feel more body confident and just my self-esteem grow. It's not, I think it's unrealistic to think, right, I'm going to go in for this surgery and come out a different person with like masses of confidence. Yeah, that's unrealistic.
Well, let's bring in Dirk Kremer at this point, because I think that's a very key point, isn't it? What you're expecting plastic surgery to do for you.
Exactly. I always say I do psychology with a knife. That's exactly what we're doing.
Psychology with a knife.
With a knife. The young women, but also young men who come see me in my office, they really have a very, very low self-esteem. But the sad thing is that this has been triggered through Instagram culture, Facebook culture over the last 5 to 10 years.
And have you seen a change? Do you see more people who are younger?
Oh, drastically. The first time in 2017, the average age of women undergoing cosmetic procedures was with 39 years old, under 40, which means this 39 age was because of a massive raise of women in their 20s. Millennials are now massively in the race, and they ask for procedures.
I've got to say, that makes me feel really sad, though. I'm going to come back to you on this, Megan, but as in, I didn't know who I was or what I wanted when I was 20.
Exactly. I see that very critical. And if a patient comes see me, I'm not going to say immediately, yes, we do, come on, let's do that. I'm very, very critical. And you must see if the patient is mature enough to undergo procedures.
Do you ever turn anybody away?
Oh, very often, very often. If I see patient has very unrealistic expectations, it's very often they come with a picture. They come with a picture of Megan, for example, or they come with a picture of Kylie Jenner. That's very, very often. But they have nothing in common with Megan or Kylie. And I say, well, well, you know, you should look for your individual beauty. If we sit together and say, you know, actually you are beautiful, maybe we do a little tweak, but then it's your personal beauty, then I'm all for that.
Let's go back to Meghan, because I think this probably does happen a lot. People go into hairdressers, or they go to stylists, or they go to a cosmetic surgeon and say, I want to be like her.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you?
It does put like a lot of pressure on, but I think girls would have seen the negative side of it as well. Like majority of my comments are people shaming me for having surgery, so I don't think it's all like glamorous and the answer is to go out and get surgery. I think young girls, I don't know why it's like put out to girls and targeted at girls of my age to go and get surgery, and you can, it's easy accessible, even if you can't afford it, there's finance options and it's there on a plate, but then when you do it, you're then penalised for getting it. That's my biggest, I don't understand that. So I don't think girls would look at me and be like, oh, I want to be like Meghan because of this, because they would see the stick and the amount of abuse I've taken for getting surgery.
I think it would just be generally helped if we widened the idea of beauty, because then it wouldn't be that one look would solve everything. Because like people say social media is the problem, but I also think social media has actually broadened what beauty means with things like body positivity. It's meant that there are people like me with public platforms and big platforms with scars on their stomach, with fat on their body, and still loving their life and being confident in their body. And I think that also shows another side to it, that you don't have to change what you look like, and you don't have
I think
to...
part of the problem is kind of wanting to be part of the club, because I was thinking Love Island was so big here and in other countries as well, that Meghan, you know, a teenager at school, everybody's talking about it, you know, they want to be part of it and they want to get the look, your look.
You know, can I say something? I don't really agree with what you said. Social media is very dangerous, and at the beginning it champions diversity of beauty, but we see in the last years it's not the case.
Do you think it's got narrower?
It's narrow because we shouldn't forget everybody wants to look amazing. So we try filters, we have apps to create the perfect picture of me. And after a while, you're defined by the many likes you get, the comments you get, and also what's different is we used to look at supermodels, at movie stars, and they say, okay, well, I'm not a movie star. Yes, I understand. But now, suddenly, beauty becomes the next door girl, the neighbor, the girl I just met. Suddenly, I look at the Instagram and say, she looks amazing because she had maybe had a filter. So it narrowed the beauty ideal, and it's not so much diversity anymore. It's really girls like Kylie Jenner who give the trend. She is super successful with her looks, and of course young girls who not define themselves through family,
I think
job.
I can feel your tension here though, Dr. Kremer, because you make a huge amount of money, presumably, out of being a very successful plastic surgeon. And yet you're saying you think ethically there are problems.
You know,
as
the
well.
message should be out there is that the young girls don't realize what they have. They have youth. That's what all my patients, 40, 50, 60, 70, they're envious of a 20-year-old who has naturally youth. They lost it, and it's lost very soon in time.
See, it's easy for us to talk about youth kind of looking back and with hindsight.
Exactly.
And I look at you now, Meghan, and that's why I asked you how young you were when you first decided to have something done, because there's a lot of pressure very young.
Yeah. Especially now with social media, people are using Instagram like ages like 13 and they're seeing all these perfect women. That's why I think you need to be honest and open. If I lied and said, oh, no, I haven't had anything done, I was just born like this, it sets unrealistic expectations for girls. So despite me getting the stick, I just think, I just admit it.
I think what I slightly want to amend what I said. It's not the fact that it's the opportunity to broaden beauty. It's the fact that people like me wouldn't have even been given a voice without social media, because in generic media, you wouldn't see people like me. Whereas it's the opportunity that I use on my platform, same as you, to be honest and be like, this morning I was saying, oh, I was crying this morning. I had a bad day. I had a bad mental health day. That's okay to talk about it. And it's opening up these conversations and saying body image is a huge conversation, but it's not necessarily just a conversation for people who have, every single person has insecurities, and I wanted plastic surgery at 10 years old for surgery scars on my stomach, and to me, it's so sad that I wanted a surgery to
And you
remove...
spent years thinking about that.
I spent years thinking about it, and I have a campaign, Scar Not Scared, for that reason, is because I wanted a surgery to remove surgery scars, and the only reason I didn't was because I knew the pain that abdominal surgery is, and to go back to hospital that started it all in the first place, to me sounded seems so counterintuitive, but at the age of 10, the only reason I didn't do it was because my dad said I was too young. That's literally the only reason.
We have to leave it there, but Megan, Michelle, Dirk, thank you all for coming in. I think we've all agreed that the conversation needs to be had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming into the studio today.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.